looks so good on a belt, I had to give it a demonstration. So I got my new Buck 119 a couple days ago, and I've been excited to make this sheath for a while. This is maybe my favorite one that I've done so far, even including my fancy K-bar ones. So this sheath is a lot like the old buck sheaths for the 119 and other knives. I think maybe up until the early 90s, I think they were made this way. And one of their newer knives, the 124 Frontiersman, I think still comes with a sheath of this style. But this is the one that the 119 comes with now. And in some ways, as far as leather sheaths that you get with knives these days, as far as that goes, it's not terrible, but it's pretty thin leather, ugly stitching. The rivets on it are flimsy looking. I never get them on camera, but flimsy little tubular steel rivets. None of the edges are beveled or burnished or anything. Just some black edge paint on there. So, you know, pretty mediocre at best there as far as the sheath that you get with it. This one is, of course, much heavier leather, 8 to 9 ounce, and all burnished and everything. The pattern is actually not entirely my own design on this one. Well, of course, I mean, it is based on Buck's old sheaths, but I actually downloaded the pattern after seeing a video from a guy who did kind of a collaboration with Nick's Boots and had a sheath made for his buck knife. And Nick's Boots produced a very limited run of the sheaths for sale, and also released the pattern as a free download. So I downloaded that actually quite a while ago. I've been looking forward to making a sheath like this for a buck knife when I finally got one. And I found I actually had to make several modifications to the pattern to get it to work right. Mostly because of the thickness of the leather. I actually printed out the pattern and glued it onto some poster board and cut out a couple of sheaths yesterday and got them most of the way done, and then realized that the top part there where it closes up was way too tight, because I was using much thicker leather than what the pattern was designed for. So I had to rework that. You can see I added a 1/4 inch around there and to that end, and also the pattern of the sheath actually wasn't quite long enough either, which was their mistake. Nothing to do with my leather. So I added 1/8 of an inch onto there. I also left this little piece there a little bit wider. It was 1 inch. I think it's up to about 1.25 inches or so on mine. So just a little more leather connecting it together there. And the loop on the back also, I made it wider on this one and on the pattern that I got. It's a pretty narrow loop there, riveted on, so I bumped that up to 1 inch wide. Also moved it up 1 inch higher, so it's closer to the top of the sheath, more the way people prefer to carry their knives nowadays, I think. And also made a dangler for it. You can see the D-ring on there. And the pattern called for just a simple, permanently riveted on dangler onto that, but I made one of my typical removable ones with 2 snaps on it. And the way this D-ring is, actually there's not a lot of room on there, so I find that I have to put it through, whoops, I think I did it backwards. I have to put the cap end through because the other bits don't quite make it through there. But so there's the dangler on there too, and of course riveted with copper saddle rivets, which are much more durable than the type of rivets on this one. And another interesting thing, this sheath is not actually dyed black. I used what's known as vinegaroon or vinegar black on it, which you make by dissolving some steel wool in vinegar, and you put that on there, and the chemical that results from that is known as iron acetate, and that reacts with the tannins in the leather, which turns it black. And then after that I neutralize it with baking soda, so there won't be any long-term problems or anything from the acidity. And that's much more durable than just a dyed black finish, because black dye is particularly the pigment tends to kind of rub off of the surface onto things, and also shows scratches very easily. But this actually penetrates pretty deep into the leather and turns it black all the way through. So it won't rub off, it won't show scratches as much, and really nice color to it. So, as I said, I've been looking forward to making that one for quite a while. And of course, what animal would you stamp on a buck sheath other than a buck? So, put that on there. I do black sheaths very rarely. Years ago, when I first started selling sheaths, I used to do black ones sometimes. I'd do one brown one and one black one, thinking, some people, people would want a choice of colors. And the brown one would always sell pretty quickly, and the black one would sit around forever. So I very rarely do black sheaths these days, but I figured, being a buck knife, it has that iconic black and aluminum handle. It really looks great in a black sheath with the nickel-plated hardware on there. And I will do some brown ones also, because that's an interesting look too, but I really like the look of that black sheath. So there's that one. If you're interested, we'll call it $50 as usual, with the dangler thrown in for free. I think on Etsy I'm gonna have the dangler on there for $5 extra as an option. And also, you can see in the background here, I finished up a batch of BK7 sheaths that I brought out to photograph. It's kind of my my Mark III version on these ones. Changed the pattern a little bit slightly again, pretty much just the belt loop and the snap there. So now it's this slotted type like some of my other ones. I like that quite a bit. And stitched on the back, so those will be on there also $50. So I guess that's it. Thanks for watching.